The next question comes from Anna Rao, and we'll go to Mr. Zinke.
Mr. Zinke, the Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court allows corporations, unions, and other groups to spend as much as they want to support or oppose a candidate as long as there is no coordination. This outside spending has exploded in the last 2 election cycles. According to the Federal Election Commission, outside groups spent over $26 million in the last election cycle in the Montana Senate race alone. This cycle, outside spending is approaching $1 million in the Senate race and is over $335,000 in the House race. Do you believe this is good for the election process and for our democracy?
Well, I don't believe the present system of outside money, influence that's hidden, is good for any democracy. The problem is, if you're going to stand behind, if you're going to donate to the parties, and both parties have it, if you're going to donate to organizations, then you need a name behind it. You need to make sure it's transparent. The money isn't as important as who stands by it. But when you have hidden, dark money, you can't tell where the donors are. You can't tell where it's from. And oftentimes, you can't even tell what country it's from. You know, that's the problem, is that Second Amendment, you know, freedom of speech, you know, our individual rights are enormously important. And we need to value those. But you look at transparency. Again, it doesn't matter to me, it isn't important the money. What's important to me is where it comes from. And if you have an individual that can't hold strong and put his name on it, then that's a corruptive force. And both parties have it. So what I'd like to see is transparency. If you're going to support a candidate, then have the Montana word behind it and put your name behind it.
Mr. Fellows, your answer?
Well, I don't see money as quite the problem as a lot of other people do. I think the reason we have so much money is because these outside groups want the power to control, and they do that. We've seen that in various races across the country, especially in races like Michigan, where Justin Amish is running against a Chamber of Commerce-backed candidate, and they don't like the fact that he wants to get rid of some of these subsidies for businesses. And so you got that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of us like to get together and pool our money so we can have the money, so we can have free speech, so we can talk about the issues. I mean, the problem with the power to control is that we've got to work to shrink government down to a small size so that we won't have these powerful outside interests. And when you look at some of the contributions from my competitors in this race, I mean, John Lewis has got a lot of candidates, or a lot of contributions coming in from ActBlue. Mr. Zinke has a lot of outside contributions outside of the state of Montana, so those are all influencing, and sometimes I think you'll have the best money candidates so by in Washington, D.C.
Mr. Lewis, your answer?
There's too much money in politics, period. Everywhere you go in Montana, people agree with that, and it's been made much worse by the Citizens United decision, the McCutcheon decision, that's created more money in politics. Anna said it, $26 million of outside money spent in our state in the last election. That's disgusting. Trying to influence and tell Montanans how to vote. And so we need less money in politics. This is the source of the dysfunction in Washington, D.C. This is why people are not working together and doing what they're sent there to do, which is solve tough issues, make tough decisions, work on solutions. Instead, it's about money and raising money. There's too much money in politics, period.
Mr. Zinke, your response?
Well, I certainly would not be known as a Washington insider on there. I'm third generation Montanan and served my country 23 years. And I can tell you that money drives message. And that's the cold facts of it. But it can be changed. Again, it's about transparency, because I want to know who is actually behind the money. Doesn't matter whether you're a billionaire or work at a dime store. What matters to me is that you're going to support a candidate and you're going to have your name behind it. You know, no more dark phantoms that come in and manipulate. And I think that's the corruptive force that's killing our country.
Mr. Fellows, your response?
Well, we all know that money buys influence, but money doesn't guarantee elections. We all know that the Koch brothers spent $400 million to get Mitt Romney elected, and that didn't work. We've seen Eric Cantor, who spent $5 million, and he actually spent more money, $160-some thousand on steak dinners, than his competitor did, and he still lost by 10 percentage points. So money is not the end all, but for small candidates like myself, money is, in effect, free speech, because to get my views out, I can stand on a corner and talk to 3 or 4 people, but throwing ads on TV, I can reach a whole different audience, and all it takes is money and donations and volunteers.
Mr. Lewis, your response?
Well, look, the beauty of Montana is this is still a retail state. People want to meet you, shake your hand, size you up, see where you stand. And so that's what I'm going to be focused on in this election, regardless of the outside money that comes in the state. But we've got to do something about the political system so that we can get people working together again on solutions and move this country forward.